Here lies Master Ragequin's first apprentice, killed by a falling corpse. Here lies Master Ragequin's second apprentice, killed by dying.
Look! A wanderer comes my way, walking the sands upon which this poor shell must suffer. Call me Ishmael, son of the sea, an outcast upon these wretched shores. An exiled shell, doomed to live under a canopy of arid sky, not his native, tender water. Of course I can talk, don't be silly. There's more tongue to me than heart. Indeed, the surprise should be mine, for I still remember the days when your kind swung from branches and plucked the vermin out of their neighbor's fur. Time is an indulgent mistress to one who spends happy hours as she passes. But when your existence is one of misery, she becomes a lethargic hobby. Oh, I remember ancient times, for I have lain here since antiquity, when the ruins around us were palaces, and the sun-bleached dead merry children. All this I have seen, alive, alone. Alas, my fate is a cruel one, I assure you. How many snot-noses have held me up against their dirty little ears, only to claim they can hear the ocean? Of course they can hear her, the brats. We are on the very edge of the great aquatic mother, whose embrace I so desperately long for. Yes, yes, I, King of Pearls, ache to repose anew on his coral throne. Hurl me toward the water. Swing me as far as your arm's strength gives lease. And treasure long sunk I will grant thee. What do you say, kind knight? Will you return the King of Pearls to the sea, so he may yield you long-lost treasure?
Kindness is its own reward, and then there's the promise of treasure to boot. Let's throw him into the sea.
Agreed. Let's send him home.
Liberator, kind benefactor, bless me the might of your sea-bound pitch. The sea, I have returned, where every wave feels like a mermaid's kiss. May the bounty of the deep be yours, along with my eternal gratitude.
it right there, orc scum. No one slips past the Legion unchallenged.
Calm down, Junius. Doesn't look like one of them orcs to me. Not a single horde in sight, you know.
Just hold your tongue, will you, Bibius? Can't be too careful. We are sworn to protect Cyseal. We're legionnaires, of course. On the lookout for orcs, for they've been attacking from the sea. God knows why they do it, but we stand firm. We of the Legion, liberators of Riverlon.
Liberators of liquor too, aren't we, old chum?
Shh! Just pipe down, will you, Bibius?
Ever kept the watch? Stood on the lookout for hours on end, bored stiff. Boredom's a demon, buddy, and booze is the demon hunter. There. I do declare it's time for this hunter to take another shot. Huzzah!
Aye, a noble word for watchdog, that, for that is what we do. Watch over the local dogs that ever so often aim for one another's throat, and separate them to keep the peace. Separate by the sword, that is.
Best way to calm a wily dog is to neuter it. Ha! Spay for pay, Legion's motto.
Just put a sock in it, will you, Bibius?
So, you're source hunters, are you? And how are we supposed to verify that's true? We can't read, my friend. So for all we know, those papers say you're a polymorph parrot on the lookout for a 2-bedroom birdcage. They don't prove a thing.
You know what? We'll take you two to the wizard. I know he reads. He has books large as a house, that one. Yeah, he'll squeeze the truth out of you, one way or another.
The wizard, you say? Sounds good to me. Lead the way.
Agreed. A wizard is bound to know more about what is going on around here.
Captain, come along. We're not far from the city. Come, let's have another drink while we still can. To your very good health.
And yours, Bibius. Here goes. Oh. Goes down as smooth as birdie needles. And I'll be damned if it doesn't get you more hammered than an outfit.
Better to be dead drunk than like dead, won't you?
Come, let's go back to the bridge. Let the source
I invoke the fervor of flame! I can accuse you with power!
Ready!
Freezing flurry!
Did you see that? Those orcs had a human
Who was
commander.
that joker
How
leading
very
those orcs?
curious.
Damn traitor.
And how
Where
very
are Bibius and
disquieting.
Junius? Didn't they hear the fight?
I like you much better with your guts on the floor.
Far before his time. Hail, Source Hunter. Why, I don't think I could ask for a more welcome sight on these cursed beaches. The Legion welcomes you. Bloody orcs are at it again. Beats me what on earth they want in Cyseal. This is their second attack within as many weeks, and their second defeat. That rat-faced shaman of theirs even went to the trouble of launching a fireball at a ship in the harbour to the west of here. They may need help. I would go myself, but we legionnaires are under strict orders never to abandon our posts. Never know when another one of these little raiders might sidle up the beach. Beats me what traitorous madness came over that dog. A man among orcs? It'd be like one of your kind running with a sorcerer. Whatever the cur's incentive to raise swords alongside that murderous lot, let's all hope it was a private grudge. Can you imagine if we had to add a slew of wild-eyed, orc-loving bedlamites to our list of enemies in Cyseal? Oh, I'm not so different from any other soldier you'll meet round these parts. We've all lost more comrades here in Cyseal than most do in an entire military career. One day, comrade, vengeance will be ours.
What's all this ruckus? Sounded worse than a dozen tomcats fighting over the world's last mackerel. Ah, but I see we've suffered another orc landing. And judging by the relative ease with which it was dispatched, I can only come to one conclusion. Source hunters have arrived in Cyseal. You're as welcome as a glass of cooled milk on a hot day, my friend. I'm Ahu, at your service. It was I who requested your presence in this troubled city. So you were, and so you weren't. Behold, there we are. Meet my other half, Hunter. Ha ha! No need to look so flabbergasted. I may be a wizard rife with tricks and guile, but I assure you my plea is an earnest one. So, now that the cat is out of the bag, let us turn to the matter of Councillor Jake's murder. It's hard to put my finger on it, but I can feel in my very whiskers that sorcery was at play. Visit the scene of the crime, and I'd bet sardines for salad you'll say the same. Captain Aureus, though, the local commander of the Legion, insists I'm seeing ghosts. I insist he's blind to all but the undead. Jake was murdered in a downstairs room of the King Crab Inn, up in Cyseal proper. The Legion keeps it under lock and key, though, so you'll need Aureus's permission should you want to have a peek. So there are, or rather, there is. Popular opinion has it his wife did the deed, but to be frank, I have my doubts. She seems a likely candidate, to be sure, but that would make her a sorceress. Esmeralda knows how to charm, yes, but I just don't see her magic extend beyond a frolicsome look and wink. Still, don't simply take my word for it, Hunter. It may be well worth your while to cross-examine her yourself. The Legion has her under guard in her shop near the town square. That's where you'll find poor Jake's widow. A human, you say? Truly? But that would be like a kitten leading a wolf pack. And yet, I have heard rumors about a sect of sorts, a shadowy set of worshippers that associate even with orcs. Some say they're sorcerers, but people will say that about anyone who behaves a bit strangely nowadays. I don't quite know what to make of this news, but thank you for informing me. It'd be foolish to dismiss such a curious event out of hand. Unfortunately, that is absolutely correct. The Orc siege is yet another hairball stuck in this city's already choking throat, and it shows no signs of abating. We've cordoned off the western beach where most orc activity has been reported. For the 9 lives of me, I can't seem to figure what they're doing here. There's nothing of interest along the waterfront, except for a set of caves with an unfavorable reputation. Maybe they're after some pirate's treasure, the fools. Ah, the undead. They've been clawing their way out of the ground for 2 years now. And for 2 years the stalemate between them and the living has been dragging on at a weary pace indeed. The Legion did a good job keeping them at bay, but I think it's fair to say that without my magic-infused ballistae, they'd have gotten the better of us by now. Someone is responsible for the outbreak. Necromancers are at work, but who are they and where do they hide? Alas, that searching for them is like searching for a single louse in a lion's mane. Oh, but that's not a trick, it's a blessing. Or does it surprise you that I enjoy taking a feline guise? Such magic is a gift, Hunter. To tread upon the realm of instinct. Even articulate speech, perhaps humanity's greatest asset, cannot give expression to something so inextricably innate. To be out in the night, To stalk on silent paws and hunt with only the moon as your witness. You couldn't possibly imagine the thrill. But of course, it's handy to speak in more than meows. And I couldn't brew potions or make machines without opposable thumbs. This I freely admit. Let's just say I have found a way to enjoy the best of two worlds. I'm glad we've met, Source Hunter, and I'm certain we have a lot more to talk about. Feel free to visit me whenever you want. I've set up a workshop in the Legion's headquarters. Once you're there, just take the stairs, but do pay a visit to Aureus first. He may bark like a beagle with its tail stuck in the door, but you won't get very far in your investigation without speaking to the de facto leader of Cyseal. And with that, I bid you adieu, Hunter. Adieu and good luck. May your enemies prove to be mere mice, and you the dauntless mouser.
Sects, undead, orcs. Looks like we have our work cut out for us.
At least we won't be bored. How about we go see
blazing
that
ever higher.
Aureus chap Arden mentioned?
The ship's blazing ever higher! Are these the biggest buckets we've got?
Sodom all the way to my boot soles.
Oh, a Source
Our
Hunter.
home, our livelihood, all sunk in a matter of minutes while we could do naught but look on. These bleeding orcs, I can't keep off this place for the life of them. They came in here slinging fireballs and swinging swords. Wasn't a thing we could do to defend ourselves. That was a right stunning show of magic you pulled, it was. Wish you'd been around when our own barge went down in flames. Well, we were merchants what seems like a moment ago. With our ship sunk, we're little more than free men with nothing more to say than boo. With our ship gone, nothing for it but to get a job. Slim pickings around here, that's for sure. Maybe you could keep an eye out, though.
Have you found us a job yet? We'll take anything, really.
Have you found us a job yet? We'll take anything, really.
Don't forget the time you got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sailed the Ythel anymore?
Speaking of youthful Bure, that
Ask the
loopy
Source
legionnaire
Hunter.
really thinks that
Come on.
Orky charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an Orwig 500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst! Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for the joyride?
No, indeed. He drove it straight to the
Curse
bubble
the
bank.
gods. Is it so difficult to find a day of labour?
And don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sailed to
Sailor,
Ythel
what news
anymore?
from the mainland?
Oh, nothing new,
Source? Here in Cyseal? Ah, of all that cursed hunks of rock to land on, Conrad chooses this one. Madness! Thought we were done with those swampy uglies a fortnight ago. Note, though, that none of them dared to come close to the tide splitter. That was some fast acting there. Many thanks on behalf of all us seamen.
Sauce? Here? In Cyseal? Bah! Of all the cursed hunks of rock to land on, Conrad chooses this one. Yo, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that Orky charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an Orwig 500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst! Ever hear about the time the captain took the...
Ahoy, sailor! Are you enjoying the fresh winds of Cyseal? Those orcs must be out of their barbarous minds launching an attack of a city where a great wizard resides. Though even I must admit they put up a hearty effort. I'll tell you, the only time I'd consider waging a suicide campaign like that would be if whatever I sought was something worth dying over. Name's Conrad, cargo trader, sea captain, an expert in all things nautical. Folks across Andervale know to give old Conrad a holler when it comes to rare imports and magical items.
The time he got caught passing
Shores?
Here?
Is that why we never sail to Ythel anymore?
Speaking of Ythel, that weekly region here really gives
Yes, honest man for an honest day.
Save that sheep all by your lonesome. Quite a feat. If I had the magic touch about me, I'd have lent you my hand too. I thought the old girl's fate was sealed when the orc shaman set his fiery gaze on her sails. But you managed to rescue her from a watery grave. Closest thing to a miracle I've ever seen.
Said to him, I said myself, if I don't start earning an extra gold piece an hour, I'll walk out that door.
Good on you. These boss men respect confidence, you know. So what did he say?
Well, what does it matter? Day labour's more suited to my nature anyhow.
Yes, honest pay for an honest day.
I don't know how you did that, hocus pocus, but boy, am I grateful. Nothing worse than seeing a fine vessel like that disappear beneath the waves. I thought the old gal's fate.
I don't know how you did that.
I said myself, if I don't start earning an extra gold piece an hour, I'll walk out that door.
Good on you. These boss men respect confidence. So what they say?
Well, what does it matter? Day labour's more suited to my nature anyhow.
Yes, honest pay for an honest day.
A source hunter? I thought you lot had burnt the last of those nutty sorcerers by now.
Plenty of fish in the sea, but I've got the foulest of the lot on my racks. A source hunter.
Source hunters here too. Well, if the Legion couldn't save this place, what are you gonna do? Not much about zombies, do you? How about walking bones?
Good luck with these Cysealian, Source Hunter. They'll run you ragged if you let them. Say, no one's around. You wouldn't raise a fuss if I, borrowed one of these fish, would you?
Borrow indeed. I'll sooner meet a cat wizard than see that merchant repaid.
Come now, I'll be good for it, I swear! I never would have dreamt of resorting to petty theft during better times, but what choice have I got now? If it's steal or starve, I'll choose steal. Oh, my story's tired by now. I was happy enough, prosperous enough, before these lean times around Cyseal began. Still, that doesn't waive a man's need to eat, you know. So what do you think? Should I snag a fish?
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
That merchant has to eat too, you know. Leave the fish alone.
I'm sure this one little fish won't starve the merchant. He should take the fish.
Fresh haddock. Perfect for a fry-up.
That fish simply isn't ours to give. We can't offer it up as though we had the right to do so.
Whether the merchant loses a fish or this man goes hungry, someone will suffer in this equation. We might as well help the man in the most dire need.
Silver arrows. I'm straight. I'm true. Arrows by the cousins.
All right, we'll do it your way.
That's the spirit! Or should I say, the soul?
Sheriff, did you just steal that fish?
No, I paid for it. The merchant just left, but I paid. I paid before.
You were a witness to this event now? Tell me what happened.
This man is telling the truth. He paid for that fish fair and square.
Quite so. I saw him pay the merchant.
I can't thank you enough for your, discretion. I'll be going now.
Well, sorry to have bothered you then, sir. Carry on.
That thief is free for now, but I wonder how long it'll be until his growling belly seduces him back onto the crooked path. I can understand your sympathy for that man, but feeding him for one day will hardly remedy his circumstances. You would have done better to help him more substantially than by covering up a single petty theft.
Sorry, but I haven't the time for chatter. These days, a moment's inattention is all a thief needs to snatch my livelihood out from under me. The dead are on the prowl, the councillor's been murdered, and now source hunters are encouraging petty theft. The few honest amongst us are swimming against the stream, I'll tell you what.
Oh, hello, love. Nice day for a little stroll around the market, isn't it?
What are ye staring at? Captain Jack's the name, though the title may be a little generous at the moment. My crew ran off, and I can't find enough hardy souls to help me reload the ship and sail off. Those scallywags heard there be silver in the Lacula mines, and they abandoned ship like the lily-livered turkeys they are. Haven't seen them since the day we docked. Some poor chaps lost their ship and want some work. Just send them to me, and tell them there's a bit of coin and a lot of rum coming their way if they don't mind a bit of honest labour.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots. Well,
quiet down.
What sort of arrows do you...
As many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Praise be that Ahu the wizard built those newfangled weapons of his. Cyseal would have long been overrun by undead if it wasn't for them contraptions.
Here for your daily serving of veggies. Please partake of the plumpest produce ever produced. Here for your daily serving of veggies. Please partake of the plumpest produce ever.
What do you have? I got white cheese, blue cheese, old cheese, new cheese.
Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Oh no, noble friend. Your upper chakras are in desperate need of a good scrubbing. Fortunately for you, my homebrewed tinctures will do the job. Or if you're in the mood for something a bit more electrifying, one of my air scrolls might give your system just the shock it needs.
The finest veggies Cyseal's ever seen.
I'm straight, I'm true. Paris by the buzzards.
Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes. Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses. Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Well, hello there.
Blue cheese. An excuse is more holes than a slice of this kind.
Ah, hello, proportionate one. Oh, I can see from the symmetry in your face that you are a great fan of the fine arts, no? I'm a painter by trade, as you can see, but a cartographer at heart. You might think there isn't enough work for one of my talents in a downtrodden city like Cyseal, and you'd be quite right. I travel around Andervale, mastering my craft and finding new subjects to add to my litany of lovely portraits and complex maps, like this rooster I'm working on now, and the landscape that surrounds him.
These patches only
Source hunters, eh? All right, proper, we're finally getting a hand. Things is chaos. If you've got a favourite sheep, best to fry her up now before she gets thieved in the night like me dear plump Ogget, the finest in me herd. I recently sold most of the tender loves to a trader heading north. Plenty of business that way these days. Those miners must be preparing for a mighty great feast. Wish I could have a nibble on my dear darlings, all ground and spiced. Yes. Oh, Ogget's been missing for more than a fortnight. I love that sheep, you know. Was planning to cook her into a fine midwinter night haggis myself. Do tell me if you hear anything about her. I plan on pursuing whoever stole her with my cleaver in hand. Now that the herd's gone, old Birch is just scratching by like a hen till the next batch of beasties comes through. Livestock's got twice the sense and price the soul of the average human, I say.
Not in the mood for cheese. An excuse is more holes than a slice of this pie.
Well, Mayor Cecil will be happy to see the likes of a source hunter. Welcome to the town hall of Cyseal.
Well, Mayor Cecil will be happy to see the likes of a source hunter.
Club if you got an eye for...
A source hunter? Oh, what a sight for sore Cysealian eyes. Me? I live alone here in town. Used to be that my younger brother Tom and I were practically joined at the hip, but that's all changed now. Oh, he's always been something of a rascal, calling his petty hooliganism adventuring and endlessly worrying my poor mind. Oh, but of course, I've always loved that scamp to bits. For my part, I encouraged him to join the Legion. Even got him sparring with Captain Aureus now and then. But then those blasted Fabulous Five came into town. That band of... I don't even know what to call them. Well, they're his heroes, and I simply couldn't prevent him from going to see them. That one meeting was all it took for Tom to run off with them on some mission to God knows where.
What? Oh, it's you. Come closer then. Closer? My ears aren't what they used to be. Nor my eyes, for that matter. Yes, hello, Source Hunter. Our city welcomes you. What? Oh, you mean Cyseal. Very difficult times indeed. As though the death of Jake, and by source magic no less, weren't enough. We're also facing all sorts of brutish intruders. The undead have overrun all but one northern trade route, while the orcs are making a habit of savaging our beaches. That's not to mention that at the top of this whole caboodle, there's rumors of some new religious sect or cult or some such sticking its tendrils into the innocent, seven-fearing folks of Cyseal. And, while we're on the subject of troubles, I myself have a private matter I'd like to bring to your attention. It involves a magic relic I rather foolishly sought. A weapon called the Staff of Pergamon. The what of what now? Oh, you're speaking gibberish. Ah, you mean the Staff of Pergamon. Yes, yes. I was expecting a shipment of weapons, and among the cargo was this very powerful, very rare staff. I managed to place the order through means somewhat, atypical to a government official. Cecil proved an old fool, though, for the merchant slated to deliver it to me has just informed me that the damn thing has gone missing. I fear it may have fallen into the wrong hands, and I wonder if you could retrieve it for me. His name is Conrad, captain of the Tide Splitter, a merchant ship still docked at the Cyseal harbor. You can talk to him if you think it'd help, but I'd quite like to avoid getting the Legion involved, if you don't mind. The staff itself contains a shard of an ore, highly valued for its use in the weapons of war. I know use of the material to be forbidden, but I was desperate to do something to aid the townsfolk against the undead. Jake, murdered? Oh yes, Yes, now I recall. Indeed, I could hardly believe it myself. The Council and I have certainly had our differences over the years, but old squabbles evaporate under such circumstances. Most of the townsfolk are certain Jake's wife Esmeralda is responsible. In fact, the Legion have taken her into protective custody to keep her safe from the mob. As you can imagine, I've known Esmeralda for years. That business between her and the Duke of Ferrol was always a bit suggestive. But I've never had cause to suspect her of violence. Still, one never knows for sure. An all-right bloke, apart from all this Esmeralda nonsense. The whole town knows the only goal of his business trips to Cyseal is to spend a night or two at the King Crab Inn with Mrs. Counselor. Well, I do believe that's something your parents ought to have discussed with you long ago, Source Hunter. But I suppose if you really don't know, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least explain the basics. You see, when a lady and a fellow find each other rather nice, well, rather more than nice, they occasionally, Oh, this is nonsense. I'm the mayor for the 7th sake. I can't be bothered to chat all day about the birds and the bees when Cyseal's under siege by orcs, undead, and cultists. What? The undead? Yes, for the past 2 years, those blasted skeletons have all but suffocated this city. With all but one trade route overrun, Cyseal's once torrential commerce has slowed to a pathetic trickle. My elf? What elf? Oh, myself. I am Cecil, Mayor of Cyseal, and husband of the stately Cecilia. I've been the mayor here for decades, and I'm quite eager to see Cyseal through these difficult times. Yes, very difficult times indeed. That depends. What kind of berries are you interested in, exactly? The library. Yes, you must have a visit. It's the gem of Cyseal. Would you like to have a look? I'll escort you upstairs myself. Marvelous! Follow me then.
Let's see. Key, lockpick, or hammer?
What? Oh, yes. This library is the jewel in Cyseal's crown, the beacon of culture and learning in our fair city. My Victoria has every volume you could possibly imagine, and she's got every speck of information about this place packed into her brilliant brain. Yes, Victoria's come a long way from that little bundle of claws and teeth I adopted so long ago. Ah, it brings a tear to my eye just seeing her here among her beloved books. What? Oh, yes, yes. I'll be on my way back downstairs now. Please introduce yourself. I know Victoria will be happy to make your acquaintance.
Demonology for dumbbells. Ugh. I need something more advanced. The Encyclopedia Demonium.
Brief history of
I know it
sorcery
by
still
heart.
hasn't been returned. Celeron will have to pay yet another fine. In the name of Amun-Hor, I bid thee Tujda Geta Hal. Be welcome, human. My library is yours, as I hope your friendship is mine. I am Victoria, daughter of Mayor Cecil. Oh, I know what you're thinking. The likeness isn't exactly striking, is it? When I was very young, you see, I must have been cast out by my tribe, for I was found in a wicker basket floating past Cyseal toward the sea. The fisherman who found me would have drowned me on the spot, for I am an orc after all. But praise be Amun-Hor, dear Cecil was among the gathered crowd, and he took pity on the exiled infant that chance had put in his way. He raised me like I was his own. This kindest of souls taught me the language of men, their customs and their letters. Thus, I became the city's librarian, a position I uphold with no small diligence and pride. Indeed you may. The wisdom I here hoard is yours to peruse and even take with you. All I can ask is that you return the books you borrow so that others may enjoy them too.
Edition 2. Most promising. Omnes autem mali demonis quam. What? What is this? Who are you to interrupt my musings? By Naga the Protector, they have the manners of boors, these boatmen of Cyseal. Oh, but perhaps I spoke too soon. Perhaps I was mistaken, for you hardly resemble the local fisherfolk, which, incidentally, is a compliment of copious dimensions indeed. No, a source hunter, that is what you are. Yes, a stalker of sorcery, a chaser of charms pernicious. In truth, I cannot go so far as to say it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, for I take no pleasure in the company of man. But it may just be to our mutual advantage to join forces nonetheless. Why, simply because you hunt source, and I, Jehan, hunt demons. You are aware, of course, that quite often both of these pests frequent the same shadowy pools of infamy. Now, I hate what I hunt, but I respect its cunning. Should I not, I'd have been decimated, body and soul, long since. This is a sentiment I'm quite certain you must recognize. Let there be strength in cunning, yes, but also in numbers. The calculus of wizardry I offer you, the might of the magician's mastermind. On one condition, that on our joint travels we will never deal with demonic entities, no matter how tempting their propositions. Give me your word on this, and I'll weave you spells.
Volume 1.
Very well. There will be no deals with demons.
Agreed. Nothing good ever came from bargaining with those devils anyway.
Most gratifying. I see you are firm of purpose and thereby ready to descend. Descend into the madness that is sorcery, into the depths where demons dance. Gladly shall I follow you into the abyss. Onward, blood and triumph await.
What mayhem. Kajdanor. A brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Celeron will have to pay yet another fine.
place this book here? A volume of poetry among novels? Rack! What mayhem!